Dan huwa l-programm Chill għal darbohra dejjem fuq Net Television illum iktar intervisti ma' kantanti u artisti Maltin. Din darba għandna artist Malti però li joqgħod Berlin. Sentaw illum waqt il-programm Chill ma' Jim Hickey. Jim, you are Maltese, but you reside in Berlin. Originally, why did you decide to leave our little island to go to Berlin?
I basically wanted to find new possibilities to express myself and see what other people were doing with the kind of music that I was into, maybe find out about different styles that I'd never even heard about, and just to further myself, musically basically and artistically.
How long have you been residing in Berlin now?
It's been over 8 years, nearly 8.5 years now.
How old are you?
27.
So you left Malta at a pretty young age. How hard was it to leave your family and start a new life over there?
I think at that point I just had a one-track mind, really. That's all I wanted, so that's all I kind of saw in front of me, basically. So obviously, as time went by, I started to feel it more and more. Obviously, missing my home, missing people that I grew up with. And
what do you miss the most of Malta?
It's not really hard to say. I mean, family and friends, obviously, the lifestyle.
And the food?
And the food, of course, yeah. It's a lot of fun to be here.
Do you feel German now that you've been there quite a lot of years?
Not at all, actually, but Berlin is a bit of an island.
You look a bit German.
Do I really? Okay.
Blondish.
Okay, then.
You can be a German boy, no?
Well, maybe, yeah. I mean, I've actually had people come up to me and start speaking to me in German because they thought I was, but had to disappoint them.
Will you ever come back, you think, or now you feel you settled in Berlin and that's like your home?
I feel very much at home there, but I never say never, and I want to be here more often. Definitely, the past few years I haven't been here very much at all.
You've been doing quite a lot of gigs, yeah. We'll talk about that very, very soon. Jim, what do you do? What kind of music? What kind of producer? What kind of artist are you?
I would say in a broad sense it's electronic music. I do all sorts of different things. I mean, my project's a bit hard to describe. I haven't actually really found a term to describe it yet. But I do a lot of remix work as well, and basically all sorts of electronica.
Basically electronic music, mostly?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And you sing as well? You play, you sing and you produce, right?
Yeah, I had spent a long time playing in bands and doing other things when I was younger, and at one point I just felt like I want to try out working on my own, and I found that it really fit to me and fit to the kind of things that I wanted to do, and I just find this kind of isolation better for my style of producing. But yeah, it's been a process of discovering what I wanted to do, basically.
Jim, what inspires you to write a song or to produce a track?
Everything that happens, really. I mean,
day-to-day life?
Yeah, day-to-day life, meeting people, different experiences. It can be something really banal, it can be something that changes your life, whatever strikes a chord, basically.
Instruments, when it comes to instruments, what do you play?
I love synths and drum machines and guitars.
In fact, you got us one here. What is this yellow instrument? Synth, yeah?
Yeah, it's just like a lead synthesizer. I use it in the studio, on stage, everywhere. So I'm kind of inseparable, so it's always close by.
You carry it everywhere you go, right?
Yeah.
Jim, one of your music videos is called Everything, right? Can you tell us something about that?
Yeah, that was actually a really interesting process. I'd been working with a few different artists, actually painters and stuff like that, and the inspiration for the video actually came from the guy that did the album artwork for my first EP, Railings. It's a very geometrical kind of figure, and we decided to take this idea from the artwork and incorporate it into the video. So we filled my living room with string and wool and basically just made all these forms out.
Quite an interesting video, very, very original, very different. And I was going to ask you, in fact, who had this idea? Or did you come up with this idea to have like a lot of art and all you've done in your kitchen to film the video?
Well, partially. I mean, I came up with part of the idea somebody who I work with very, very often on design, which is my girlfriend. She came up with part of the idea for that, and obviously the artist himself who actually did the artwork originally.
And how long did it take you to film?
We shot it over a weekend, 3 days, but actually the last day we didn't really use anything. We were just trying out things and messing about. And I think maybe we had a couple of outtakes that we ended up using for other things, but yeah, 3 days.
Okay, that's great. Fantastic video, Jim. Artists that you follow at the moment?
I like a lot of underground kind of acts, stuff like Fondle Park and Chromatics as well. They're not really all that underground, but really great stuff. All sorts of different stuff. Producers, Twigs, big fan right now of Twigs.
Do you follow what's happening in the music local scene here?
Yeah, definitely. Especially in the past few months, there's just been an explosion really. Maybe the past few years, it's just been so much good music coming out of here that people really should be aware of, actually.
And you've been performing as well here in Malta, right? How's that experience so far?
It's been a lot of fun. I mean, obviously it's really cool to play for all of the people that I know and everybody that they bring with them. Just to have a home crowd, it's a lot of fun,
And how do you keep in touch with your relatives here in Malta? Like, what's your medium, the favorite medium? Is it WhatsApp? Is it Skype, Facebook? What do you use most? Or you hate social media?
I actually don't really like computers all that much, but obviously being away, I have to.
You have to
compromise. No, I love Skyping with people, Facebook obviously as well, to stay in touch real minute to minute as well. No, not really.
Minute to minute is quite an ordeal. Jim, let's.
Yeah.
When possible, when I have some time, because I know you're very busy doing lots of things. Does the weather change your mood?
Yeah.
Are you a moody person, Jim?
Yeah, probably. Not short term, but yeah, long term.
Coming from a very sunny island and going to Berlin, it's very cold, most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very long winter. I mean, 7 months of life feels like an eternity of winter, really. But I try to come back here when it's warm, to stock up on some sunlight. That does me a lot of good.
I've seen as well a video on YouTube, Burning Forest, So Far Berlin. What was that all about? Looked very interesting. It was like in a kitchen, like a concert, like a little show in a kitchen. Can you tell us something about that?
Yeah, that's actually a really great concept. It's a relatively new thing that these guys out of London started to do, and it's basically spread to all sorts of different cities where people host concerts in their living room or kitchen in this.
Wow, fantastic.
And it's actually just started in Malta. There was the first So Far concert in Malta in May, I believe, actually.
So it happened here as well.
It happened here as well, yeah, and it will happen again soon.
Brilliant. So we'll wait for that. In the meantime, we can watch Burning Forest, Jim Hickey, So Far Berlin.
This track's called Burning Forest.
It's like a new pharaoh. If a pharaoh's a new pharaoh. I'm up to tear through the aisle. I'm trying to right the wrongs, but it plays before us. It's like a burning flame. It can get through the aisles. I'm trying to right the wrongs, but it plays before us. It's like a burning flame. Just to feel it, yeah. But it flew for us. It's like a new for us. But your hand stopped the time. No, we're not over yet. Your head hangs with the weight of the words, the weight of the word. I'm up there tearing through the aisles. We're trying to right the wrongs, but it plays before us. It's like a burning flame. It can get through the aisles. We're trying to right the wrongs, but it plays before us. It's like a burning flame. Yeah, burning my for us. Nothing cut out silhouettes were made to think that, well, they burn before us. It's like a burning flame. Yeah, burning for us. Food for us, new for us.
Very interesting concept. Jim, I know that you are not single, you're in a relationship. How difficult is it to keep a relationship when you're very busy, maybe traveling, producing and doing lots of stuff, music?
In my case, not really all that much because she's also involved in the arts and design, in music as well, and
She can understand?
pretty much, possibly both the time issues and the insanity that goes along with being involved in this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's actually quite frictionless in that respect.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the GPT. You know GPT?
What's that?
Come on, you don't know GPT? The guilty pleasure track. And I know everyone has one, and I'm sure that Jim Hickey, you also have a guilty pleasure track. GPT. What is your GPT?
I knew something like this was coming. Let's see. I'd say anything late 70s disco, Diana Ross, anything Giorgio Moroder was up to, that kind of thing.
Two of my favorite artists, Diana Ross and Giorgio Moroder.
Yeah, that's right. But maybe half guilty. Guilty.
Half.
Guilty because it feels so good. Yeah.
Okay, Jim, what are you working on at the moment?
Well, right now I'm actually doing a lot of remix work for other artists. I released the first remix that I ever did a few months ago, actually, and since then I've had all sorts of people coming up and asking me to do remixes for their albums and singles. So that's what's happening right now, basically. And I'm also working on my next EP, which I want to bring out sometime September, October.
Musically speaking, is there anything that you've been wanting to do but you never got down to do?
Yeah, I actually want to put a lot more guitars into the next one and a lot more techno. You know, actually go into a bit of a harder direction on one end and smoother, maybe softer, mellower direction on the other end. Just mix it up. I love to do that.
Thank you so much, Jim Hickey, for accepting to be here on our show, Chill. And I wish you good luck for your next CP and everything in your life in Malta, around the world, and obviously in Berlin. Do you speak German?
Yeah, I do now.
Can you tell me how to say bye, see you next time?
Tschüss, bis dann.
Just I knew that, so easy, just bis done. Grazzi ħafna lil Giuseppe Zlido li għadar boħra aċċettaw li nkunu għet namlu dan il-programm minn hawnhekk. Nfakkarkom iktar programmi Chill dejjem fuq Net Television mit-2 sal-ġimgħa. Tschüss bis dan.
Chill jixtieq jirringrazzja lil Hair Design, Zara, Ayur Veda.